Thank you very much for joining me on another episode of The Wealth Whisperer. I hope you're really well today and looking forward to the conversation. I have a question for you. How are you positioning yourself to be wealthy? It's a bit of a loaded question, isn't it? Because there are lots of different actions and activities that you can do to become wealthy. And from my perspective, the most important thing that we can do to help ourselves to become wealthy is to learn how to do it. There are myriad books out there and myriad courses out there, of course, and this is obviously the main topic of conversation that we have on these episodes. So I want to do a bit more of a deep dive about positioning, because until you take action, you can read all the books in the world, you can go on all the courses in the world, you can dip your toe into all sorts of things, but until you're actually taking relevant and considered action, you're not really going to be getting anywhere, or you may have some success but not to the level or the degree that you would like. So today's episode is all about positioning yourself. So when you have discovered what it is that interests you most and what floats your boat and what you feel passionate about and what you can really get your teeth into, it's all about then taking action and then being patient. And I've always said to my property clients that I've worked with over the years that property teaches you patience. Well, I would categorically say that really any wealth creation industry is there to teach you patience. There are very, 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 very few, if any, real get rich quick schemes. They just are false. And even if you make money quickly, quite often people lose it. As we know about lottery winners who win substantial amounts of money only to then have it all fall through their fingers in the majority of cases. So we have to be patient. We have to take the right actions and we have to position ourselves, meaning we have to put ourselves in front of the opportunities and take the right action and then wait. And essentially, it's about letting time be your leverage and do the heavy lifting for you. That is the whole point of the exercise, is if you can put yourselves in front of an opportunity that's going to grow, that you know is going to work, but it's going to take you time, then that is the key. So maybe you're already thinking about or have started your own business and you're either learning how to grow it or you're currently actually growing that business, which will help you to leverage your own time in terms of bringing other people in to help you, taking it global if you have an online business. There are so many opportunities these days for entrepreneurs, for business owners to scale if you have a great product and you have the will and the ability and the skill set to grow that business, to take it out, worldwide basically, so that you can scale it and then perhaps even eventually sell that business, so that you can then sit back and enjoy the proceeds of that business. That's one way of growing wealth. Or maybe you're into the stock market. Maybe you've been learning how to navigate that arena and learn how to take the peaks and avoid the troughs, or take advantage of the troughs when you can buy again, and sell high, ride high. And maybe you're investing or trading the stock market perhaps. Or like us, maybe you're into property. Maybe you've had a good experience with property and you're learning how to build a portfolio for yourself. Or maybe it's cryptocurrency. Maybe you've caught crypto fever, having seen what it's doing currently. As I'm recording this episode, we have literally had the start of the next boom, shall we say, it appears, just after the US election, and it's going crazy. But of course, you have to keep your head. You have to know what you're doing. If you've positioned yourself in the market already, then you're going to be taking advantage of some serious gains in the coming months. So, for example, with our property portfolio, let's go back a couple of steps. What we've done by getting involved in property, and believe you me, it has by no means been an easy journey. In fact, looking back, we were going through some paperwork the other day, chucking some stuff away, filing, archiving some paperwork that we have, and we found some of our accounts in the early days where we were hardly making a bean out of our properties. I mean, we're talking, that we were probably minus cash flow for a few years as we were building up the rest of the portfolio, and also having spent money on refurbishing a property that we were allowed to then earn money, and it was brought forward as a loss, so we were earning money and setting off against that loss. So we had very little money coming in the early days, but we were determined to build the business, and we could see the potential. We could see how prices were rising and how we could use that to our advantage alongside the work that we were doing. But what's been the most powerful thing has been taking consistent action and believing in what we're doing and being passionate about what we were doing, and then letting leverage do a lot of the work for us. So we were raising mortgages on every single property that we bought. In the early stages, it was 85% loan to value, which was 85% of the value of the property we would take out as a mortgage, and only 15% would be put down as a deposit. So they were the high lending days back in the early 2000s. And then time has been the most powerful aspect of our journey, because over the years, time as well as leverage has allowed the portfolio to grow and grow and grow, and for us to be able to build that portfolio with literally none of our own money, literally, apart from in the very early days. Well, in fact, even in the early days, we took a loan out as a mortgage, and then we used a student loan as a deposit. So yeah, it's almost been, completely, none of our own money. So we are leveraged all the way. But because of the time, and because of the leverage, and because of the power of having multiple properties go up in value, that has led to us having a portfolio which is self-sustaining, which pays us a decent cash flow, and just keeps going up in value. And so therefore, as our properties keep going up in value, so our mortgages keep going down in terms of the loan to value. And that is really, 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 really powerful. It's only because of the time aspect that has happened. It is truly fascinating. So that is what has created the mainstay of our wealth. But we positioned ourselves. We took action when everybody else said we were crazy getting involved in property. Isn't it risky? Or, the market's going to drop, you're going to lose everything, etc., etc. Well, if we'd listened to those naysayers, we would not be in the position that we're in now. So that's what I'm saying. You've got to believe in and put yourselves in front of and position yourself for wealth. It's quite simple. Also, if you think about it, what we've done with our child trust fund, I think I've mentioned this on one or two of my episodes previously. We have consistently put in small amounts of money, well, relatively small amounts of money, every single month since our child was very young. And that has grown into a very, very tidy sum. Now, if you were, for example, to take a look at index tracking funds, which track the FTSE 100 or the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, something like that, or all of world markets, there are various funds that you can get involved in, which I highly recommend that you take a look into. Caveat, not a financial advisor. However, that some of those funds are performing extremely well as opposed to money that's just sitting in the bank. And if you are able to allocate even just, a few dollars, $50, $100, even $25 a month, or pounds, or whatever your currency is, into those funds each and every single month, they will grow over time. And this is called the compounding effect. So if you consistently put money in to a fund which is growing, it doesn't matter, as long as you choose something which is going to be, which has got good potential for growth, something like what I've just mentioned, then you put little bits in each month, and that's called pound cost averaging or dollar cost averaging. I may go into a little bit more depth about that on another occasion, where you're buying little bits of that fund on a regular basis. It doesn't matter if the fund's going up or down. It really doesn't, because when the price is low, you buy more. When the price is high, you buy less, but overall it averages out over time. And that's exactly what's happened for our Son's Child Trust Fund. And we are now looking into the index tracking funds as well, because they're quite interesting. We have been diving into the world of index trackers purely with a view to, as an alternative or as a diversification of our portfolio. So, that's again something very, very powerful that you could look into to actually position yourself and grow wealth over the course of time. And if, like us, you are big into cryptocurrencies, which we are and have been since 2017, have ridden a few of the crazy rides, the crazy waves, then you will know that if you have already positioned yourselves into cryptocurrencies, certainly the top 3 to 5 cryptocurrencies over the course of the last few years, that you are now going to be reaping those rewards. We have been very, very patiently, consistently putting money in, pound cost averaging into certain cryptocurrencies, drip feeding all those positions over the last few years, and been patient. We had no idea when the market was going to turn. There's a pattern that has happened over the course since Bitcoin came into existence. There's been a pattern every sort of roughly 4 years, and you can see this kind of trend happening. And if you can learn, and this is the most important thing, if you can learn and understand what you're getting into and position yourself and only put in as much as you can afford to lose, because it's not an easy ride, okay? However, with the market, with the industry becoming more and more kind of defined, if you like, there are definitely opportunities. And if you have positioned yourself already, you will be already seeing the start of what could potentially be absolutely life-changing. So it's, as far as I'm concerned, personally, I don't think it's too late to get involved in cryptocurrencies. I've seen quite a few posts flying around on Facebook and wherever else saying, I wish I'd bought Bitcoin when it was $100, when I saw it $100 or $1,000 or $25,000 or whatever. What happens if you don't buy it now and it goes to $1 million? We don't know. There are plenty of market predictions out there, plenty of experts who are predicting that Bitcoin is over the longer term has absolutely massive potential. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just saying to position yourself. We are positioning ourselves in quite a few different markets to grow our wealth. And we categorically could not keep up with the rate our investments are going up if we were just working and saving. It's just not cutting it anymore. The long and short of it is that there are very, very few investments which are actually outperforming the debasement of currency, which is something I spoke about recently. So if you want to dig into that, go a few episodes back. The overall rate of debasement, meaning the rate that our currency is becoming worth less and less, is around about, and I'm just talking here in the Western world, UK, the US, Europe, probably Australia, although I'm not entirely sure, but let's just say generically where I'm used to, is going down at a rate between 10 to 12% a year. That means any money you're sticking in the bank is going down roughly 10 to 12% per year in terms of its buying power. And that's pretty scary stuff. So if you're not positioning yourself, then you're not staying ahead of the game. So therefore, it's kind of crucial. If you do want to build wealth for yourself, if you do want to have the future that you've imagined for yourself, then it is really important to learn, to take action, to be consistent at that action, and to be patient. Those are the 4 components of positioning yourself to become wealthy. And then after you've done that, after you've taken the action, or whilst you're taking the action, you can then relax and enjoy life. After all, isn't that what it's meant to be about? Yes, work hard. Yes, play hard. Yes, spend time with your family and your friends, your loved ones, and doing the things that you really enjoy, and build this up at the same time. This is exactly what we've been doing for the last approximately 25 years. And I can tell you it's really paying off. So I had a wonderful little conversation with a good friend of mine the other day, and a lovely expression came from that conversation. And that was that this gives you a sense of wealth being. Yes, you heard that right. Now, well-being is usually what we speak about. But in this sense, what I'm talking about today gives you a sense, or will give you a sense, of wealth being, meaning that you carry around this feeling. You carry around the feeling that you're doing something constructive towards your own future self, future wealth, positioning yourself to take advantage of market movements. You're never going to stop the market. The market's always right. You have to work with the markets and learn to navigate them, whichever market you're getting yourself into or have got yourself into. And with this feeling, with this sense of wealth being, I can categorically say that it can only allow your investments and your experience to grow. Only growth can happen from this place if you're doing all those things right. And that's it. That's my journey for today. If you're interested in learning exactly how to position yourself, how to do this stuff so that in 5, 10, 20 years time, you can be saying exactly the same thing and feel it, well, hopefully feeling it as you're going along, then please do drop by, come and see us. We're at thefreedomclub.com, which is the-freedom-club.com. You're going to be seeing a brand new revamp of our website very, very soon, but you can still access us. You can still contact us via that website. Click on the link where it is in this description, and we very much look forward to helping you if that's something you'd like us to help you with. So on that note, I will leave you with that sense of wealth being and knowing that you can do something about your future, and let's go for it. Take care until the next time.